Greetings, Excellencies. A very happy day, the most awaited second day. We are very much happiest to enter into the second day because the first day has given us a lot of energy, a lot of strength, which is required for all these 17 days. We are very much honored, blessed to have so many excellencies yesterday. I request kindly mute yourself. Brothers, Professor Solomon, kindly mute yourself. We are really honored and blessed to have eminent Vice Chancellors yesterday. It was given a great strength to further all our programs. And today is the special day, a very, very special day, because we have eminent people. We have the King, His Excellency, a President of Birland State. He is joining very soon. And we have Her Imperial Majesty, Aiden Ma'am, really having their presence here. Apart from that, some Vice Chancellors, some experts, SDG 2 experts from different countries. Within short time, they are joining with us. And this second day is going to be a bigger. And we are very much happy to invite Her Royal Majesty and His Royal Majesty King Emir and Aiden Ma'am. Really, we are very much happy because he's the President of Birland State and she's the Prime Minister. With their presence, this is going to be certainly bigger. So with this note, today we are talking about the burning issue because which has to be addressed. Hunger. It is the killer. Hunger is the killer. It's a silent killer. It's a killing millions of people. So it has to be addressed. My best friend, my beloved guide, Sri Kulkarni sir also joined. Sir, we have recognized your presence. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. So with all these eminent people, we are going to address the crucial issue, hunger. Really, if we make hunger to zero hunger, the world becomes a better place. So with this note, I'm inviting today the chair of the program, Professor Dr. Vijay, chair of the event, Dr. Madhavi Borseji, to chair the event. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, respected Excellency. Welcome to Vishwa Humanity, United International Royal Council. Greeting all Excellency and a very warm welcome to all the dignitaries, guests, and delegates with great joy and immense exhalations. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all presented here for the Day 2 Sustainable Development Goal, Zero Hunger. I'm profusely elated to take an opportunity, first of all, to introduce all the eminent chief guests of the day. His Royal Majesty King Amir A. Harvey, President of Birland. Her Royal Majesty Queen Eden Soriano Trinath, State of Prime Minister of Birland. Professor Chris Imodon, multi-genius world record holder, keynote speaker, advisor of monarchs, government and leader, board chair, Excellency in Education Program. Dr. Professor Raghunath Prapal, Vice Chancellor of Brani University, USA, Brunei. I'm seriously inspired from all of those because when Saras told me I've gone through, as it is Queen Aden's poem and your universities, it's really brilliant. So kindly inspire us with your magnificent guidance. But before that, let me invite our true inspiration, Dr. VJ Caroline Ma'am, the chair of the program. Without you, every program is incomplete, ma'am. So we'd like to go with your guidance and please start the program with yourself. Over to you, respected ma'am.
Thank you, Madhavi. Madhavi, both ma'am, have seen you a long time after marriage and delighted to see you. It's a great time Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the excellencies, global leaders, all the eminent leaders who joined our platform, the prestigious platform. And we are discussing about each day the Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17. It's a great honor and privilege to be with all the global leaders and kings, queens of different countries and humanitarian social activists who strive for the welfare of the nation. We, the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, mainly focus on world peace, sustainable development goals 1 to 17. We are best. We have done all these years for the welfare of the nation, welfare of the society at our level. I'm Dr. Caroline, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. Namaste from India. Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, as I said, focused on peace and sustainable development goals. And what we said on the Zoom platform, we have done these years physically, also at our level. But it has to spread to nation and see that the total globe will be with great peace. As everyone says that peace has to be started within and it has spread to the total globe. And we, the members of the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, directors and the patrons, matrons, whoever join, we have to see that we will be having great peace within our heart. With that peace, we can bring great happiness and joy and peace in the especially the people who are underprivileged and people who are below poverty line and people who are surviving in the war conflict zones. We have done at our level supporting the underprivileged and people who are below poverty line, especially the government of India also has visited our office in Hyderabad and seen that we are striving our best level. What we said on Zoom platform, we are doing physically. So the government of India also appreciated, and also we are looking ahead that we get very soon the support from government of India. As well, we want to have MOUs with the international organization globally for the great projects which can develop infrastructure and the better lives of the underprivileged and people below poverty line globally. And we all know that there are two organizations under the umbrella of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. One is Telangana Kala Parishad, the chairman, Dr. Rajarao, and the Life Foundation, the chairman, it's me, Dr. Vijay Kari. Telangana Kala Parishad mainly focus on culture and culture diversity, where the culture diversity, it has a great unity. It can develop great harmony among the people with different cultures, with different heritages. It strived at best level and done many physical programs through culture. It has seen that the culture has been expanded in diversity. There is unity. Thus, that slogan was spread in the hearts and minds of everyone, and it has succeeded. As well, it has shown solidarity with the farmers who are striving hard for welfare of society, because farmers are able to produce the food and meet the demands of the growing population. But they were in great trouble and they were struggling hard. At that time, Telangana Kala Parishad has shown solidarity with farmers. In this way, Telangana Kala Parishad is doing great deeds in the society and supporting the nation at its level. And the Life Foundation main focus is on education and eradication of the poverty, especially that is women empowerment at our level. And we have adopted 55 acres of slums in Hyderabad, and we have seen that education centers are established in the slums, and we have encouraged the underprivileged and below poverty line children get good education, as we believe education only can bring all-round development. And we encourage students to have good education. And we have seen that good teachers are placed in the schools, and they're taking care of the slum children. In this way, we are encouraging the children to have good education, and education can enlighten the lives of the people. And women need to be empowered. We're encouraging the slum women and the servant maids to have better life, and we encourage them to have tailoring as a best option. We have introduced the tailoring centers in the slums, and 30 women have been trained, and they started their own economy benefit. That is, they started their tailoring centers and supporting the family. In this way, we are striving hard to encourage and empower the women. And also, we have taken up so many awareness programs to know about the good and bad touch, and we help girl children to be protected and boys to be protected. So, in this way, we are taking up the activities physically and supporting the society and the nation at our level. And sure, very soon we are going to have good collaborations with international organizations which can take care of the society upliftment. So, in this way, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council is focusing on Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17. Each goal we are choosing and seeing that if we have good projects from different international organizations, so that we can establish these projects for the betterment of the society. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Vijay, Carol, ma'am. Just a 2 sentences I could made it in the stop of time. Ma'am, you are so supportive, and salute to your all motives. The way you are doing, it's seriously amazing. And the most important, what I always say, that we all have, that we all know that how to work for us and for our family. But the best thing which we are alive for, and we take a birth for, humanitarian works. And that is how Caroline ma'am comes with an example. So thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite His Royal Majesty King Emia A. Harvey, President of Berlin. Kindly enlighten us, sir. Over to you, respected Excellency.
A good evening for all. I think it is evening. And I am so happy to be in this Zoom meeting about the zero hunger. And it is my pleasure to share it others our opinion about the discussion the zero hunger in the world. And we can suggest put suggestion about how to can handle with this situation, because you know that as so-called the third world, and in Asia, in Africa, and many parts of the world, now they are suffering from lack of food, especially, you know, the war between Ukraine and Russia, and also the things and the foods and many things become very expensive. So we should now take care about the agriculture and how to planting also. And I hope we will discuss about many suggestions from you. Thank you very much, and welcome all.
Thank you so much, Excellency. It was so informative, and with a short snap of time, you have told so much to us. Thanks a million. Now, I would like...
1 second,
Madam, 1 second, madam.
Thank you, King Amir. So thank you for joining us. It's a great delight to see you on these prestigious platforms. It is a great honor being with you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. It is my honor also.
Thank you so much, Excellency. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. We are honored.
You so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, respected sir. Now I would like to invite Her Royal Majesty Queen Adin Sariano Trinidad, State of Prime Minister of Berlin. Ma'am, I have listened to your poems, and that is really wonderful. It is all about India and the incredibly you explained. I'm just curious to listen to you as well now. Over to you, respected Excellency.
Oh, blissful evening to all excellencies and honorables, guest speakers, peace warriors, and peace seekers, peace messengers. A pleasant evening to His Royal Majesty King Emir Hayawi, the founder and president of Birland State in Birtawiland in Africa. Also to His Excellency Professor Dr. Joseph M. Von Legend, the Secretary of Diplomacy of the state of Birland. And in our midst is the Minister of Health of the state of Birland, His Excellency Professor Dr. Mayuk Pandit. Maybe you want to invite him also. He's also a very good professor, lecturer, and speaker. And of course, I'm very and truly grateful for Vishwa Humanity International United Royal Council for not getting tired of me. Dr. Rajarao Pagidipali, the chairman of Vishwa Humanity, and Professor Caroline Vaikuntham, the managing director, who are both Birland officials as well. Thank you so much to both of you. Last night, I was with you also, and I had given a very long speech about world peace. I truly appreciate that once again, you invited me to be the chief guest on the second day of the World Peace Mission 2023. So let me give some thoughts about the SDG, United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 2. Just reducing poverty is not the answer to zero hunger. Do we really lack food? When some rich countries, they have so much leftovers, spoils, fruits are spoiled and vegetables are being spoiled in farms, restaurants, supermarkets. Maybe some on their tables or refrigerators. Hunger is linked to it is a major cause I Google. Actually, it's all over Google. All we have to do is implement, to work together to attain the goal, zero hunger. Philippines, one of the great teaching and discipline passed down from our ancestors till today, till today's generation. And we also practice this to our own children today, to my children. Our parents have taught us to eat anything we put in our plate and not to take a lot of food, then you can't even finish it and then leave it to your plates or throw it away. We were taught not to waste food. For lots of children and people are not eating 3 times a day, or they have no food on their table most of the time. My parents-in-law were loved by their grandchildren because they loved preparing food for them whenever we visit them when they were alive. My mom-in-law, when her grandchildren were eating, she kept on telling them, "Oh, you have to finish all the rice on your plate." And the grandchildren learned not to leave a single cooked rice grain on their plate. One time there was a family occasion. She again reminded the grandchildren, and one of the grown-up grandson reacted, "Why, mommy?" That's how they address their grandma. If we're not going to finish our food on our plate, will those who have no food will have something to eat now? Or those who are hungry will be full? We all burst out a hearty laugh and seemed it was an innocent joke because that grandson was really joking only. What could be the response to that? I'm lucky and the Filipinos are lucky because we live in a country where there's no winter. We only have 2 seasons, and that's summer and rainy season. Our weather, any plants can survive. That if a Filipino goes hungry, we can't blame it to the government because it will only take us to be industrious. We can plant and grow any vegetables, fruit-bearing trees, shrubs, grow fish also, and other kind of foods. Our only fear is when rainy season comes and flood or calamities destroy all our vegetation, the plants and our farms. Why people in several countries that we label poor countries are hungry or facing terrible hunger? Maybe because they have so much children and they can't afford to feed. We also have this kind of situations and conditions, mostly to the Aboriginals who lives in the mountain or at the foot of the mountains in the Philippines. And they are very poor and they have lots of children which
How
they
you doing,
couldn't
innit?
feed. But other indigenous
You lot are mad weird, innit?
Majesty, yours is muted. I'm really sorry. Can you please?
Yo, what you
unmute
saying?
your-
What you saying? I couldn't hear you.
Majesty, can you please unmute your mic?
you don't hear me?
Yes. Now okay. Now okay.
You don't hear me?
Now okay. Now we can hear. Just muted yours.
Sorry,
Thank you.
you did not hear me since I
No,
started.
it's our mistake. Someone is making noise, so it was yours that was muted.
Oh, they closed my microphone.
Yes, yes. It won't happen. Please, you go ahead.
I hope
Now,
you're
okay.
not gonna do that.
Now the problem is
No
solved,
worries,
Majesty.
I have removed him. I have removed him, sir. Please, ma'am,
Is there a
continue.
hacker?
Yeah, I have removed him. Please
Okay.
continue, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
So why there are hunger problems? I said, maybe because of so much children and we can't afford to feed. We also have this kind of situation in the Philippines and this kind of conditions of poor people, mostly the Aboriginals, those who live in the mountains in the Philippines or at the foot of the mountains. They are very poor and they have lots of children which they couldn't feed. But other indigenous people of the Philippines, they are industrious. Extreme hunger factors are due to extreme weather conditions. Due to calamities, most area becomes inaccessible. But the Sustainable Development Goal number 2, main target, I believe, the main cause of hunger is that the collective shortage of food, but rather access to food and the high prices of basic commodities. So how do we solve this? And how can we ensure zero hunger in 2030? I saw one video of Jack Ma. He was talking to young people. In one of his visits to a group of young people, he boldly told them, as he was teaching them to be young entrepreneurs, he told them, don't wait for your government to do it for you. Do it before your government does, because they will never do. Lack of food, hunger to starvation will make us physically sick and mentally sick too. Lack of nutrition. If citizens are not healthy, then we have a problem in our country. Truth is, we have solutions, and the government and institutions and organizations need to focus on this. We have so many technologies now, agricultural technologies, even producing of food. Technology is our solution to realize this zero hunger. And the rich countries should help the poor countries. I don't know if you have heard about this aeroponics. Most are familiar about aquaponics and hydroponics. Aeroponics can grow leafy vegetables and also potato, tomatoes, and other vegetables in very short, even rice, even short period of time. Doesn't need soil and very little water too, yet it gives high yield. For me, this is the best technology, but it's expensive. Yet, instead of focusing the national budget for military weapons, nuclear bombs, and other weapons for war, the government need to invest in food technology to produce food. I'm planning to conduct webinars about agricultural and food technologies, for the poor are the most vulnerable. In Beerland, our newest emerging humanitarian country in Africa, we have plans to ensure our citizens will not experience hunger, extreme hunger. We need strong, healthy citizens to be productive in all aspects of life, physically and mentally healthy. This is what our founder and president wants to provide to our citizens to be in the state of Beerland. Now, the problem with some people, they kept bearing children and let them die of hunger. You know, during the first outbreak of COVID-19, I have a very good business partner and friend in China. I got all facts from him. China, when they closed Wuhan city, the Wuhan people did not starve for those months or almost a year that they were closed down or locked down. They were being supplied of all the necessities, especially the food that they need. And it was coming. It came from different provinces of China. To help your citizens, to help the people who are experiencing hunger, or for them not to experience extreme hunger, it needs sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice in the part of the government, in the part of the citizens, and needs an extreme, not extreme, it's a wrong term, a very good, excellent leadership. While they are troubled with so much infected of COVID-19, they built their hospital within 10 days that could accommodate 10,000 patients. Everything, every aspects, they gave attention. And they were very responsible leaders. China was able to produce food and made their desert green, and they produce huge crops. How? How were they able to do that? Israel, I know you know this also. Maybe India too. Israel, before and now. Israel does not have water. Before, it was truly a dry desert. They only had desert and dry lands. But look now, they focus on these things. Look at their technology now. Rising hunger due to wars, government does not focus on the needs of their citizens. There are governments who does not focus on these needs. Hunger and malnutrition mean less productive individuals who are more prone to disease and thus unable to earn more and improve their livelihoods. The United Nations Global Humanitarian Response Plan lays out its steps to fight the virus in the world's poorest countries and address the needs of the most vulnerable people, including those facing food insecurity. And they have the COVID-19 response. I don't need to reiterate. We can, as I said, Google some of solutions that what we only need to do is to implement these solutions and these suggestions from our own United Nations. But I'm going to just read. The Food and Agricultural Organization urges countries to meet the immediate food needs of their vulnerable populations and boost social protection programs, keep global food trade going, keep the domestic supply chain gears moving, and support smallholder farmers' ability to increase food production. Thank you so much. This is what I want to share for this day, for our SDG goal number 2. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Excellency.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Queen, you are highly knowledgeable. Every time I hear your speech or the message you carried, really, we have to learn a lot. As you said about aeroponics, hydroponics, and different types of technology. As you said, it's right. Israel is a small country, but it's highly technological, and it has developed such a high technology, especially in food development, production of the food. So they never go hunger. So a small country, a arid country, has turned up into a green country, which is supporting the nation. So we have to, and you are making the Birlands, Emir King, Majesty, and Queen Eden, Eden, ma'am. You both are taking care of the Birland, and you're making up into a Dubai of Africa. I'm sure in both of your hands, definitely Birland will be flourished, and it goes into great heights because you both are highly knowledgeable. I'm confident. Thank you very much for your excellent presence. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar. Namaste.
Thank you, Majesty. Thank you so much. Really, we are honored and blessed to have your presence, because today I got a what do we call a memory on my Facebook, memory reminder on my Facebook, saying that you both are the chief guests for the last year 2022 second day program. Really, we were blessed because it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence that happened. Really, we are honored, and certainly I can assure you that next year surely we'll see more. Already you are doing fantastic job towards this Birland state, and we all together contribute for the betterment. We want to participate in your vision. We are expecting that certainly that happens. Thank you, Excellency, the Royal King Emir Haivani, for joining us and blessing us with your gracious speech and presentation. And Prime Minister Queen Eden ma'am, really the way you have presented, narrated with the live examples from Asian countries, that's really tremendous. Thank you so much. It is our responsibility, make it zero, because hunger is the killer. It is killing people, millions of people silently, more violently. So it has to be answered. Thank you so much. Over to Madhavi Borse, ma'am.
I do agree with both of you, Excellency. Even I'm so impressed by how ma'am communicate, eloquent, fluent, articulate, so expressive. Thank you for your guidance, Queen. I really appreciate it. Eternal gratitude for giving your precious time to us. Now, our next dignitary, he hardly needs any introduction, but still, let's go. Professor Chris Imfedon, multi-Guinness World Record holder, keynote speaker, advisor to monarch, government and leaders, board chair, Excellency in Education program. Over to you, respected sir.
Oh, sorry. I think Professor Imafidon and I had a miscommunication. Because I gave him I invited him to join this because he really have a lot of very good ideas to share with you. But because they are very busy with the upcoming coronation of the new monarch in UK, that's His Majesty King Charles, I think he missed the time because of the time difference. Yeah, because I can see him doing live on the street in UK for the preparation of the coronation. But I'm sure he will find time because we have 18 days, right?
Yes,
Dr.
yes, perfect.
And I want you to know and meet him, Professor Chris Imapidon, the Royal Advisor of Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you.
Okay, Majesty, thank you. Madhavi Bose, ma'am, please invite the next chief guest.
Yeah, that's really okay. We really next time we will be fortunate to hear him, sir. So let me invite our next dignitary, Dr. Professor Raghunath Prakul, Vice Chancellor of Brainerd University, USA. Sir, I have gone through your university and so innovative, so creative. Salute to you. Means the way I was when means you are true motivation for all of us as I'm an educationist, so I can relate that. So over to you, respected sir.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, perfectly,
Perfectly,
sir.
sir. Perfectly.
Yes. Good evening, friends. Good morning and good afternoon, the friends all over the world. First of all, I'm really thankful to Raju Rao sir for giving such a kind of opportunity, as well as congratulating him to conduct such an event. Anyway, Caroline ma'am, I like to tell a story which happened in my college itself. Then I will come to the point of peace. When I was taking a class years back, that is almost 6 to 7 years back, after the class, that was in Tamil Nadu, right? Not in my state. One of my students came and asked, whether you are from Kerala, right? That's my state. I said, no. Then she asked me again, whether you are from South India. I said, no. Then she crookedly asked, whether you are from India. I said, no. So you are a Pakistani? I said, no, I'm a global citizen. This is the first concept Rajarao said we are supposed to develop. This is a message from a psychologist, which I want to tell. Actually, the countries are divided with the border, Rajarao said. You will agree with Caroline, ma'am, only for the sake of ruling. Am I right? We are all human beings. All our blood is really red. No doubt about that. Irrespective of any country, we will get only one color of the blood. Rajarao sir, it is called the red blood. If we develop this global citizenship, definitely, naturally, the peace will be there all over the country. That is the first message. As a psychologist, I want to tell. Karuli ma'am, in order to develop this peace, what I want to highlight, one particular thing, it is the mental peace or the mental health, which nobody will be highlighting. Because nowadays, nobody is much interested for the mental health. Everybody is behind the physical health. Once a particular person is having the mental health, definitely he will start loving himself. Most important thing, because only for the person who is loving himself will be able to love Rajarao sir like anything. So love yourself.
Now what?
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir, once.
Somebody, muted me, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible now?
Yes, perfectly, sir, perfectly.
Okay. Rajaram sir, I will repeat the words again. Once I am comfortable, I will start loving myself. If I am comfortable with me, I will start loving Karoli ma'am, Rajaram sir, my friends, my society, my country. Naturally, love yourself, love others, and love the nature also. This is also very important. Rajaram sir, interestingly, we found out because of chemical and other things, adulterated with food items and other things, it is observed that the number of sperms, right, in the semen is coming less and less all over the world. Nobody is bothered about all these things. Suicidal rate is increasing, irrespective of the education. I want to tell you, education is alone not going to increase the mental health, for which you require something else also, that is called the mental immunity also, not only the physical immunity. Whenever you are facing troubles, yes, you should be able to really face the trouble or the failure, and you have to convert that failure into a success, for which the mental health is required. I think you will agree with me, sir. And another thing I want to tell you, all these people, including our leader, should be given mental health education. If they have got a particular point called empathy, there will be war? Am I right? Empathy. See, we are having sympathy for the countries which are now fighting each other. But if the countries' rulers have the empathy, definitely we can avoid the wars. Because we should be able to understand the problem of others in standing from their shoes. Rajavar sir will agree with the particular point which I want to tell you. So only for a person who is comfortable with himself will be comfortable with others, which lead to the peace. Otherwise, the pieces will be there. Peace, not peace, the pieces will be there. And moreover, it is observed that the youngsters, or in the case of youngsters, there is no patience. Whenever I teach my psychological students, I used to say, Karoli ma'am, one interesting aspect. I got a lot of patience because I got patience. I think it is very clear. I got a lot of patience by which I am getting the patience. As a doctor, I want to communicate, develop the patience. Once you develop the patience, naturally, the peace will come. Improve your communication inside the family. Now it is observed, Rajarao sir, that the communication is very less in the case of family and the society. All the youngsters are only communicating with the technology. Technology cannot love you. Am I right? Technology cannot love you. The cell is really a cell or a prison nowadays. Everybody is behind the technology and the prison. Because of that, the communication is coming less. Because of the communication is very less, a lot of problems are coming, and which is really breaking the peace of a family. Interestingly, Karoli ma'am, we found out one interesting aspect during the Corona season. It is observed that the people are forced to stay at their homes. And during that particular period, it is observed that the communication become very, very high. And of course, the family issues are very less. So what I want to tell you is that, of course, we should really concentrate the mental health education among the adolescent, which is assured one particular thing, that is nothing but peace in the future. We have to invest heavily on the particular aspects. Even with the curriculum, that should be included. It should be, given the training for the adolescent and the students in such a way that everybody will understand what is exactly the, importance of the peace and importance of the mental health, so that they will be able to really implement peace aspects all over the world. That's why I told you, we are not Keralites, we are not, South Indians, we are not Indians, we are all global citizens. If we can develop this concept, it is well and good. And I want to tell you one more interesting thing, Rajaravu said. I suggest one particular ministry every country. That ministry should be named as Happiness Ministry. In our country, there is no ministry called Happiness Ministry. In all the states, in all the countries, we should see that, yes, there is a happiness ministry, and a particular competent psychologist or a competent person should be the minister, so that he can solve a lot of issues, cost, creed, everything, and we will give one particular concept. We are all human. Humanity is our religion. Humanity is really the religion. Rajaravu sir, once again, I thank you for giving an opportunity to talk. Right, sir? Whenever you are conducting any seminar, I used to be there. Karolu ma'am, once again, thank all my friends. I think Rajaravu sir allocated 10 minutes. I really kept the 10 minutes because I used to give a lot of, I used to take a lot of time management classes. So I want to keep the time management also. Thank you, Lord.
A psychologist to psychologist, feedback. A psychologist to psychologist. Professor Dr. Vijay Kalin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Delighted to see you once again. Yeah, I like the word empathy. Even I believe in empathy, and people do not have any time to listen to the people who are suffering. Everyone is so engrossed with their works, very busy, and no one is heeding or no one is listening to anyone. So we find so many suicides, depressions, and lot of mental illness we notice in the people, especially in high families also, educated families also. So empathy is very important. And if at least we stay and listen to the problems of the 1% of the family who are suffering or depressed, definitely the person will be healthy and happy. So mental health is important. And I like one point, that is a ministry should be there, especially for happiness. That is very important. So people, we love
Yes, ma'am. King Emissar is there. Sir also put this mark, thumbs up. Emissar also supporting that view, having a ministry called Happiness Ministry.
Oh, then in Birland we'll be having this ministry, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, so great, sir. Thank you, sir, very much. So wonderful, sir. Every point is heart-touching, and it is with the real examples you have cited. As a psychologist, it impressed me a lot. And let us show our empathy to the people who are oppressed and depressed, and support them to be a mental health beings. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raghunath Parakal sir. You are a Vice Chancellor. We are honored and blessed because we are the people who are seeing your growth for the last 3-4 years. When the pandemic started, you launched a psychological campaign to make our nation, the globe better, not the nation. As you said, you are a global citizen. Really, that is what you are doing. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful job and the time punctuality and everything. And now we are inviting young, a bright woman who is serving nations, and bringing many youngsters onto one platform. The name Team Diya Chaudhary, she is doing commendable job. I invite Her Excellency Dr. Dia Chaudhary, CEO, founder of Team Dia Global Private Limited. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me, Mr. Dr. Raja Rao and all team. First of all, congratulations to Mr. Raja Rao and team for taking such a wonderful initiative. It's an honor for me to join World Peace Summit 2023, in which representatives of different countries will contribute to build international peace. Today, I will discuss about SDG 2 Zero Hunger. Sustainable Development Goals are designed to promote peace on Earth by working to make Earth sustainable for the whole humanity. Sustainable Development Goal 2 is about creating a world free of hunger 2030. In 2022, around 800 million people worldwide were suffering from hunger. The number of people going hungry had been gradually rising between 2014 and onset of the COVID-19. The war in Ukraine has further disturbed global food supply chains and creating the biggest global food crisis since the Second World War. Targets of SDG 2 include ending hunger and malnutrition universally by making agriculture activity double and ensuring sustainable food production systems. To maintain genetic diversity of seeds, increase investment through enhanced international cooperation, and also to adopt measures to ensure proper functioning of food markets by 2030. Being a global human rights defender and peacemaker from past 10 years, I am working nationally and internationally to reduce hunger and poverty. From the panel of my own company, Team Dia Global Private Limited, I managed to conduct food drives, free education centers, free medical camps, and also training sessions in different countries to promote peace. Being founder of Team Dia Global Welfare Society, I always work to feed hungry and poor people by launching national and international welfare projects. Nowadays, I am working on a peace protection campaign to build international peace. My message to all of you is that we have only one planet, planet Earth. It gives us food, water, forest, shelter, resources. This is only one home and feeding us like our mother. But we are not treating it the way Earth treating us. Please play your part and take care of it. Let's take care of our planet together. Our planet Earth needs attention for being sustainable. Save Earth, save humanity, save world, save water, forest, and save natural resources to support happiness and a peaceful life on Earth. Together, we can achieve more, and together we can change the world. And my message, always speak louder for the cause of humanity and peace. History will remember you forever. Thank you for your attention, and thank you, Dr. Raja Rao, and congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. Few days back, we received an invitation from you, but at the time we were unable to join. But we are fortunate. We are fortunate enough to have your presence and the beautiful words. Apart from that, your execution part, because we have been seeing on your social media handles, really, you are doing a commendable job and fantastic job. You have chosen the right topic, and because it is killing people directly, not indirectly, it's killing people directly. It has to be addressed because we have humanity when we answer this question, hunger, because people should not suffer. So really, it is showing your kind heart. towards humanity. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best for your upcoming projects and works. Certainly will
Thank you.
support you. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much for your appreciation and motivation. Thank you.
Thanks. Now I want to see the lady. I want to check. Dr. Simanagi ma'am, are you there? So that I
Yes,
can
sir,
give
I'm
some-
there. I'm there. I'm there.
Yes. Because I'm going to say a big dialogue. It is like a triple R interval block, like the junior editor coming with a big sort of animals from, so something like that. Because I like Dr. Simanegi ma'am very much, because I like education. I like the people, whoever supports education. So whenever I see, because that is the sentence I say for the last 3 years. Whenever I see Her Excellency Dr. Seema Negi ma'am, I feel that she's the saturation point of education. She's the personification of education. That is a feel, because in the first meeting I told her the same. Even in 2023, if you ask me in 2030, when we complete all these SDGs, I will abide by my dialogue. She is truly saturation of education, but personification of education. But she has chosen it as like a mother, because a mother wants to feed her children. So really, the people, whoever choose this topic, I think that they are kind in their heart, because our expertise is different. But Sir said empathy, that is different. Because if someone goes hunger or hungrily, really, that's a very pathetic situation. But there are millions who are suffering globally. So it has to be answered, it has to be addressed. The problem should be discussed, and it has to be found some solutions. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for opting this. And your presence really makes these topics wonderful. I hope so. And over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And I'm just a drop in ocean. And together, when we come together, and I really want to thank you and Carolyn ma'am, because when we come together, each drop becomes an ocean. And that is what is needed. When we are talking about SDG, any goal that we talk about, if we will not work together, we will not achieve it. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world everybody is joining today. All the distinguished guests, indeed, it's an honor to speak to you today. And today I'm going to speak about one of the most pressing issues facing humanity, and that is hunger. Today, more than 820 million people in the world suffer from chronic hunger, and the COVID-19 pandemic has only made it worse. Achieving SDG goal 2, that is zero hunger, has never been so urgent. It is something that each one of us need to tackle. The goal of zero hunger is not just about ensuring that everyone has enough to eat, but also about ensuring that they have enough access to nutritious food that promotes health and well-being. That means addressing not just about the quantity of food that they are getting, but it is also about what they are consuming. It is not about whether they have eaten today. What about tomorrow? Are we able to sustain that? So to achieve the goal, one must address a range of interrelated issues, including poverty, inequality, climate change, and conflict. So something that I want to discuss and which is very close to my heart also. So I will start with what I am doing in my school before I move ahead. Right from pre-primary, like a nursery child who is just 3 years, we have made it a goal that every child should learn that not even a small morsel of the food should be wasted. So it is a policy in the school that if suppose one child wastes one morsel and there are 30 students, 30 morsels multiplied by 30 days, how much food are we wasting? So the first goal that we teach in our school is we need to tell our children that hunger is a big, big problem that we have to deal it together. And the early we teach our children, the better it is. So let me come to the bigger picture. So when I say it's something that we have to work together. So let's start from what we have to do. We have to invest in agriculture, because agriculture is the backbone of many developing economies. And investing in this sector can help to improve food security and reduce poverty. We must provide farmers with the resources and support they need to grow more nutritious crops, adopt sustainable practices, and improve their yields. That is very, very urgent. Next is, we also need to improve the food system. We must work to improve the entire food system from production to distribution to consumption. This includes investing in infrastructure such as storage and transportation facilities to reduce food waste and to ensure that food reaches to those who need it the most. Now, third point is we need to address inequality. So hunger is often the result of inequality, both within or between the countries. We must work to address this inequality by promoting policies that ensure access to education, healthcare, and other basic services, as well as by promoting gender equality and empowering marginalized communities. Also, I would like to discuss this point of mitigate climate change. Climate change is already having a significant impact on agriculture and the food system. And this is only expected to worsen in the coming years. We must take action. Together, we must take action to reduce our carbon footprint, promote sustainable practices, and protect vulnerable communities from the impacts of climate change. And also, we need to foster international cooperation. Hunger is a global problem that requires a global solution. We must work together to share knowledge, resources, and best practices to promote policies and programs that address hunger and promotes food security. Today, on this platform, we all are deliberating about this. And I think these are the platform which gives us the ideas that how we can implement change. So I urge everyone to implement the change, because achieving zero hunger is not just about moral imperatives, but also an economic and environmental imperative. It is a complex challenge that requires a holistic, integrated approach, but with commitment, collaboration, and innovation, we must create a world where everyone has the access to nutritious food and can thrive. So let us work together to achieve this noble goal. And since we are today here on this beautiful platform which deliberates about peace, I would also like to mention we all desire peace, but it is often elusive. Wars, conflict, and even violence have plagued the human history for centuries, and it is continuing to do so. So in order to achieve peace, we must understand what does it means to be human. So humanity is about treating others with kindness, empathy, and respect. It means recognizing the inherent value of the dignity of every human being, regardless of race, gender, religion, or background. Once we understand the value of this, then trust me, it won't be difficult to work on the mission that we are talking about. Again, to end with, hunger is a global problem and it requires global solution. If we are more humane, we will look up to the global solution. So together, let's work to make a better world where everyone has the access to nutritious food and can thrive, because every life matters and nobody should go without food when they go to sleep. So let's make a world where everyone will have food to eat. Thank you so much.
Professor Dr. Vijay Carlin, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a very great to see you on this platform, and delighted. You are transformed. I feel that you have been transformed a lot. The appearance and all. I felt very happy looking at you. Yes, ma'am. Hunger we need to address, as many of the people in rural areas and urban is a lot of problem, and it's the time of the hour to focus on production of food. And technology has been increased, but it is also creating some problems that also has been addressed. Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a wonderful message.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Simanagi, ma'am. You went beyond our expectations. Of course, it happens as usual. Thank you so much for the commendable job done by you, because you have given the picture. Because apart from the hunger, you have given the pictures, those who are around this thing. Really, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the beautiful presentation. Now we invite Honorable Aruba Mumtaz ma'am. Sorry, Aruba Mumtaz ma'am from National Textile University, Faisalabad. She is the lecturer, program head, BTD. Over to you, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum. I'm from Pakistan. I teach in National Textile University, Faisalabad, and my department is Design Department. First of all, thank you very much for giving me initiative to share my point of view. What I like to say that today our world population crosses around 8 billion people. And if you think that it's a huge stream of people, sometimes I get afraid of so heavy stream of people. We claim that our age is very advanced in science and technology, and we are making history with remarkable crop production. We are generating new food resources. We are doing a lot about food developments, but still, when we think or we see or we listen, we say that half of the world population is facing food difficulties. Then I always think that how we can say that we are doing so much in science and technology, जबकि हम उसकी basic needs ही नहीं पूरी कर सके. So as the world become a global village, our biggest representative forum known as United Nations Forums, which has defined 5 goals. Like the first is access to safe nutrition and sufficient food for all. The second is end malnutrition in its all forms. Third is increasing agriculture productivity. Fourth is sustainable food system and agriculture resilience. 5 is diversified crops and seeds. They are really great, but I witnessed that it will be great that if we can achieve them. But the actual problem is, as the previous ma'am said, that inequality, which we are facing in all countries. There are many countries in the world which dispose their excess food crops in oceans, but not given them to the third world countries. Same as there are companies which took over the supply chain system by which they controlled the resources and channels and creating artificial shortage of different resources, especially the food and medicine. Zero Hunger is a global initiative that aims to eradicate hunger and malnutrition in all countries. We have to double the agriculture production. We have to stop the food abusing and ensure sustainable food production system. I am dealing with the youth. Every year we have a new batch, but I think that we have, I am 43, but I am dealing with the people who are 20, 22. So I have to, what I feel that I have to come to their point of view instead of enforcing my point of view. So I always encourage them to take initiative. It's time to correct and prevent trade restrictions and distortions in the world agriculture markets, including through the parallel elimination of all forms of agriculture export subsidies and all export measures with equivalent effect in accordance with the mandate of Doha Development Round. If we did not adopt the measures to ensure the proper functioning of food commodity and control the prices violation, it will cost us unthinkable. So it's time to donate the excess food to countries which are insufficient in food production. Otherwise, our sins will not give time to regret. So we should think globally. We should solve these problems globally. Thank you so much for giving me time to share my point of view.
Thank you, Honorable Anuba ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful.
I would like to appreciate Ms. Seema. I have listened her, and it's exactly my point of view which she has shared with. I am surprised how we connect with the same thought. Thank you so much.
That's so great. That's so great, really. That happens because it's coincidences are happen. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now we invite our dear Brighton Year Rose brother, Assistant Professor from Chris Jayanti College, Bangalore. Brighton Year Rose. Brother, are you there?
Sir. Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Perfectly.
Yeah. So, respected dignitaries, learned people present here, it's my honor and privilege to be part of this forum, and thank you for this opportunity, firstly. As we are familiar with the UN Sustainable Goals, or a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people can enjoy peace and prosperity. I'd like to start with an incident that happened in my life. I still remember being part of a disaster camp during Cyclone Oki in Chennai, wherein people are forced to the state of being fed food at least once a day, wherein an image of a woman or a mother is okay still remains in my mind. The woman was recovered like after 5 days after the cyclone, and she was rescued almost malnourished, and she had spent all her food to her child, wherein she forced herself into hunger just for the sake of the child. So I'm going directly into my topic for the SDG 2, which provides emphasis to end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. When we speak about SDG 2, there are a few aspects that cannot be left ignored. Namely, to start with food security, which can be defined as where all people at times have access to sufficient and nutritious food to maintain a healthy and active lifestyle. To go to the other side, malnutrition, as defined by WHO, that is deficiencies, excesses, or imbalances in a person's intake of energy or nutrients. The term malnutrition addresses three broad groups of conditions that are addressed in SDG 2. Firstly, undernutrition, which includes stunting in childhood development and individuals who are underweight. Food and nutrition are fundamental to every aspect of life and directly underpin our health and well-being. Adequate nutrition is essential to life and all possibilities for human development. The right to food is enshrined by international law, but it is far from universally realized. While global food production is sufficient to feed the world's population, not everyone has enough to eat. Limited access to food, malnutrition, and hunger remain widespread and devastating challenges for around 11% of people around the globe. Globally, hunger and food insecurity has multifaceted and interconnected causes. The prevalence of these issues is greatly determined by the governance systems that concerns food production and markets, legal and socio-economic arrangements, and environmental factors. Today, the world is faced with an ever-growing rise in the number of crises, including volatile commodity prices, rising food and energy prices, extreme climatic events, and increased threat of infectious diseases. These crises risk reversing process in eliminating hunger and food insecurity. The first target of SDG 2 is by the end of 2030, that's to end hunger and ensure access by all people, in particular the poor and people in vulnerable situations, including infants, to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food all around. But the sad state is that more than half of childhood deaths in the world are caused by hunger and malnutrition, whether directly or indirectly. For instance, 45% of global deaths of children under 5 are attributable to undernutrition and malnutrition related diseases such as diarrhea, malaria, pneumonia, and measles. Another target of SDG 2 is to double agriculture productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers, particularly women, indigenous people, family farmers, pastoralists, and fishers, and opportunities for value addition and non-farm employment. Small-scale farmers and small-scale food producers provide over 90% of food and control 75% of all the land under production. But many of these small-scale producers represent the poorest and most food insecure communities. They face barriers in terms of access to improved inputs, such as drought-resistant seeds, irrigation technologies, fertilizers, market access, as well as the challenges created by the impacts of social, economic, and environmental shocks. As of now, okay, though there are like numerous means of upliftments implemented by the government and allied agencies based on certain conventions, as we are familiar with the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which was adapted in 1992, which with an objective to stabilize greenhouse gas connections to the atmosphere at a level that would prevent dangerous interference with the climate system. The Paris Agreement that was adopted in 2015 to limit global warming to less than 2 degrees Celsius and to improve the ability to adapt to climate change and foster climate resilience and to make finance flow consistent with the above objectives, and to the very recent Rome Declaration on Nutrition, which commits countries to end hunger and prevent all forms of malnutrition internationally and reverse the growth in obesity. This includes even addressing undernutrition in children and anemia in women and children. So some of the other effective investment that are adapted according to the Rome Declaration is that pro-poor and smallhouse holder agriculture, nutrition, education, and information, strengthen health systems, improved water, sanitation and hygiene, and improved food safety. In recent years, there have been a renewed emphasis on agriculture and production in many countries with the help of several developed policies. This shift has emerged as economic benefit of a successful food system, and links between reduced hunger, improved nutrition, and good health has increased recognized. There has been a great policy focus on protecting women and children who are particularly at risk and vulnerable to food insecurity and hunger. It is the responsibility of governments globally to provide a backstop for security, playing the role in regulating food markets, production, and access. In times of crisis, when food systems are under strain or fail, the government needs to be ready to step in and provide their citizens. But as individuals, being aware of the issue, that is hunger, as a major hindrance to the society together, and proactive education and practice among fellow peers, and taking note of the improvement on small-scale productions will help the agencies and government to achieve the goal before the end of 2030. SDG 2, which focuses on ending hunger, achieving food security, improving nutrition, and promoting some sustainable agriculture, consolidates and focuses their policy progress towards universal realization of the right to food. So with that note, I end my presentation. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. I invite Dr. Madhavi Bose ma'am to take this program. Over to you, Madhavi Bose ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, sir, for entrusting me always. I'm like, I am here, and you said that, yeah, in the middle of that, you may go, but you can come back. And this is something, the connection. Thanks a lot, sir. Dr. White Rose, I believe that it's an opportunity for us to listen to you, to get an informative ideas, and that's just wonderful. Salute to all the dignitaries. The way you all are speaking, it's really explained amazingly. Now I would like to invite our next dignitary, Dr. Adrian Desley, Associate Professor of the GEPEA and the International Relations Director. Over to you, Excellency. Dr. Adrian.
Thank you so very much, moderator. I'm sorry, my camera isn't coming on, so I'll just go ahead and give audio. Good morning, good afternoon,
Professor,
good
will
evening.
you please try it? Will you please try for video? Because we have been watching you already.
Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Is it on?
Okay. Perfect. It's perfect.
Yes, perfect, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, especially invited guests. Excellencies, Your Royal Majesty, President of Berlin State, King, His Excellency Dr. Imer Hawaii, and Her Royal Majesty, Queen, Prime Minister of Berlin State, Excellency Dr. Eden Soriana Trinidad, members of your cabinet, I welcome you. Chancellors, specially invited guests, good day. Thanks, Dr. Rajaran Pagadipilli and Professor Vijay Caroline, MD. It is a great pleasure to be here once again as a speaker as such an important peace summit organized by the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council. My second invitation, this year's theme, Hope for Humanity, is especially relevant given the challenges that we face in this world today. And I'm sure each and every one of you who've done a fantastic job can agree with me. As we begin the second day, this very important event, I would like to draw your attention to one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations, SDG. SDG2, zero hunger. This goal seeks to end hunger, achieve food security, promotes in addressing the global hunger crisis world. As we know, conflict on food security and nutrition, in fact, and hunger. When conflict and violence pervades in a particular area, it exacerbates food insecurity and malnutrition in greater detail as a means of promoting peace and stability and displacement. This can disrupt food production, distribution, and access, leading to shortages, mine infrastructure, institutions, and markets, making it difficult for people to earn a livelihood, to access essential services. Now, moreover, conflict and violence can also cause displacement and disrupt social networks, leading to social fragmentation and breakdown of community support systems that are crucial for coping with food insecurity. Recent data shows a food crisis of unprecedented proportions underway. Some estimates suggest that the cost of conflicts in the Middle East alone has exceeded $14 trillion since, and social consequences for the region and Ukraine is also substantial in damages and low cost opportunities.
Professor Adrian, there is some technical problem. We are not able to hear your voice. Can you please check your audio? Yes, Madhavi Borsi, ma'am, please invite the next speaker.
Oh, sure.
Nicely, brother, please wait for a few minutes because there is some technical issue from your side. Maybe internet slow. Madhavi Borsi, ma'am.
Yeah, sir. Sir, if it's possible for you, kindly rejoin it. I believe there is some network issues. We can't hear you, but we would love to hear you because we are eagerly waiting to all of you, Excellency, that to get inspired and get an informative explanation from your side. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Patricia Gandhi Zimbabwe, ma'am, for enlightening us. Over to you, respected ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. I prepared a PowerPoint presentation. I don't know whether I'll be able to share. Dr. Rajirao, just a short presentation that I just made.
Yes, you can share, please.
It's all right. I hope it's now visible.
It's it is visible. Yes, perfectly visible. Please.
All right.
If you can maximize it, so it will be amazing.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajirao and Caroline Mime for inviting me today to be talking to you about SDG number 2, which is the Sustainable Development Goal number 19 SDGs that were adopted by the United Nations in 2000 and in 2015. And right now we are in 2023, so it means we have got more 7 years to go. And I'm going to focus my presentation on the relationship between peace and hunger, which I called the Hunger Peace Connection, confronting SDG 2 challenges and celebrating progress for a peaceful world. And as we know that the goal for SDG 2 is to end hunger, achieve food security, and promote sustainable sustainable agriculture. So we, how then is SDG 2 related to peace? SDG 2, its main focus is on achieving food security, improving nutrition. There is a link between SDG 2 and peace. One of the main reasons for hunger and food insecurity in the world is conflict and instability. When we are looking at conflict, let's look at countries like there are several countries around the world that are currently facing conflict and instability, making it difficult to achieve sustainable development goal number 2, which aim to end hunger. We have, for example, we've got countries like Yemen, we have countries like Syria, we have countries like Sudan right now, having been there's conflict and instability. We have countries like Afghanistan, Venezuela, and looking at Africa, I mentioned South Sudan and Sudan, which is facing conflict and instability since it gained independence in 2011, and the ongoing conflict has disrupted food production and distribution, leading to widespread hunger and malnutrition. We also have countries in Africa like Somalia, since 1990, Nigeria, conflict and security due to activities maybe by the Boko Haram, and then we've got the Central African Republic and the DRC. All those just examples that are related conflict, and this is causing a lot of disruption, especially in the food system, destroying crops and livestock, displacing people from their homes and farms, making it difficult for them to access food. And this conflict is also leading to economic collapse. For example, my country, Zimbabwe, we used to be agricultural based, but because of instability due to political instability, right, we used to be the breadbasket of Southern Africa, but because of instability, I think we are now on the west side. So these conflicts and instabilities can worsen food insecurity. Thereby, achieving SDG 2 is critical for promoting peace and stability in the world by ensuring that everyone has access to nutritious food, just like what our former speakers said. And this can lead to making a living through sustainable agricultural practices. I think Queen Eden has also mentioned some of the sustainable agricultural practices. For example, here in Zimbabwe, we are doing hydroponic, we are also drip irrigation, just to make sure that we have these sustainable agricultural practices. So why does SDG 2 matter? It matters because with peace and instability, a hungry man is always an angry man, leading to conflicts and less peace. That's why SDG 2 matters. And also, without enough food on the table, there are problems, especially with having severe health consequences. Think of malnutrition, think of children who are in Somalia, think of children who are in Ukraine, who are facing war right now. There's no food on their table. They do not have that chance to go and grow crops. And then an empty stomach means that there's no production, and then it means there's economic collapse in a country. And then we need also to focus on reducing poverty. I know that we are still a long way. And then SDG 2 matters because also there's job creation. Think of agriculture, all those careers in agriculture that we can think of. And then social justice, so that everyone has got food on the table. So SDG 2 matters because it has got so many aspects that I've just mentioned. And then what call to action? What are we then? What should we do in education system? Educate our students, importance of ending hunger, curriculum revamp, improving nutrition. How do we improve nutrition? Those topics should be included in education so that our children know. And then we teach them how to promote sustainable agriculture. For example, at my school, we have got a water harvesting, we've got a small garden right by the back of our classrooms. Children are planting crops. That's where we instill all of these. And then there should be curriculum integration of topics in agriculture so that our children know that they can use their hands to earn a living. It's not only those office jobs that bring food on the table. And then Then school gardens. We should have school gardens where children can grow crops. I know that at boarding schools here in Zimbabwe, most of them grow their own crops. They rear their own chickens, pigs, so that they know that they can serve as well. And then our food programs. We know that the CSR partnership with public and private enterprises. There are some NGOs that are coming in different countries. And for example, in my country, and then they bring, we call them soup kitchens, to feed those children who are in marginalized communities who cannot even, I know Dr. Caroline is working in slums, so that they can also have something to eat. Because if they do not eat, it's going to affect SDG 4, is going to affect SDG 3 on well-being. And then community outreach, carry out community outreach programs in our schools and advocate for the importance of food security and promote behavior change. Especially, we know that there are some who waste a lot of food. And then promote healthy eating habits in schools. This is what I call to action for education. I can add some more and more. Then in the home, what are we going to do? Reduce food waste. You are 6 in the home, but you're making food that can feed so many people. Why not go and donate those foods to people who are in the streets? Organize soup kitchens. Saturdays, let's go and feed people there in the streets. And then adopting healthy eating habits, and then composting food scraps that we have. Are we going to use it, reuse it? And then growing vegetables and fruits in the home gardens. I know that I'm in one NGO whereby we are working on community orchard, because we are talking about nutrition. There are some people who do not even know that they can also plant their own fruit trees so that the children can have nutritious food on the table, promoting and providing training households on sustainable agricultural practices. Here in Zimbabwe, we have what we call the Pumvudza concept, whereby the government has come in to show people how they can grow crops even if they don't have the, or even if they don't have the tractor to plow. In Zimbabwe, they have what we call chitewe. We also have sustainable agricultural practice like shifting agriculture that can be taught to people in the home or in the community. Then we need to promote community garden and community orchards, encourage food cooperatives. Why can't we have a dam in such a place? I've been to India, for example, I've been to Agra. Why can't we have food cooperatives whereby in your community, people can go and grow crops together, plant together, eat together? We are promoting peace. Then introducing farmers markets as well. People can then, after growing their crops, they go and sell at the farmers market, and they can put their money together and think of another project that they can do. And then as a community, you can increase access to health and nutritious food by providing training and inputs for farmers. For example, here in Zimbabwe, the government has introduced we call command agriculture. Command agriculture is they go into the community, into the rural areas, and through the chiefs, they identify people who do not have seeds, who do not have inputs for agriculture. Then they give them the inputs. Then they are able to grow their own food. And then we can also introduce what we call organic farming. That's a sustainable agricultural practice that we can introduce, and then also support food banks. In times of need, we need those food banks. They can go back and take the food from the food banks and then use them. So these are some of the things that I thought I could share with you, especially in terms of call to action. And then we need also to invite maybe the private sector, community social responsibility to help us, especially in having food on the table. There are so many companies who are out there who can help us, especially in terms of inputs. If you've got projects in the community that you want to do, you've got a field, we want to grow this, we want to grow rice. We have some public and private enterprises that we can make use of. And then as a government, governments, they should invest in agriculture. There are so many ways that they can do to invest in agriculture. And then they can also improve on technology, innovation and technology. What are we going to use so that farming becomes easy for people in our community? And then research and development. Those things, how we have got a drought situation. Which crops can we plant this season so that at least people can have something to eat? So those are some of the things that I could just share with you in a short time of space, so that at least we can be able to have to achieve SDG tool number 2030. And then I'm going just to end with the quote that I just heard: education is the key to change. I'm an educationist in Zimbabwe, but I'm also a humanitarian. Change is the key to peace. Let us strive to educate ourselves, our children, and others, so that we may create a world that is filled with compassion, understanding, and harmony. And also Nelson Mandela has got another one on peace that we can also use. And we also know he's the one that he normally says that education is the powerful tool that can bring out change. So let us educate. Let us use education as a tool for change to achieve SDG 2, because it raises awareness and understanding of the issues related to food security, nutrition, and sustainable agriculture. Thank you so much. I end my presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much for enlightening and stimulating explanation. Well, there will be zero hunger if every nation will improve its agriculture. Nation will improve its agriculture production, and then there will be plenty of food with all people. With this statement, I'm profusely elated to take an opportunity to invite our next guest speaker, Ambassador Dr. Joseph Legend Amphone, United Nations SDG's Country Director. Over to you, respected Excellency.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to distinguished honorables, royal majesties. I want to sincerely appreciate the president of the Bilan, His Majesty Emir Hayawi. Appreciate the Prime Minister of Bilan, Professor Queen Eden. My special thanks goes to Dr. Rajo Rao for this second opportunity. Last year was here to discuss with us. And also want to sincerely appreciate Professor Caroline for this great gesture. The concept of sustainable development is something that cannot be swept under the carpet. Nature has provided us with series of opportunities that we can tap. From the rainforest to the montane to the savanna, and then to the mangrove. A lot of flora and fauna have been given by creation so that we can stand a test of being sustainable. The planet has also provided us with tremendous resources, but unequal access and inefficient handling of this leaves millions of people malnourished. How do we change the tide and change the projectile of what and where we are currently? United Nations looks at hunger, a situation whereby a group of persons could not have anything to eat within a day because of lack of access to food or money. Let me inform us that hunger is a crime against humanity because it sends people to untimely grave. And we leaders, we must seek to enable and to ensure that we attain the zero hunger by the SDG Group 2. Based on statistics, about 40% of food produced in America are not actually used. If half of this is actually sent to some of the countries whose energy level is low in terms of production, will feed a lot of people in the nation. How did we get to where we are today, especially with respect to hunger? We have a series of environmental degradation where some natural factors set in and some of the nutrients that are supposed to produce viable crops are being washed. The emergence of litigation and leaching in terms of governments and individuals that are supposed to produce crops have been on the increase. As a result of this, a lot of farmlands are abandoned, either because of litigation or because of natural disasters like erosion. You also look at poverty. If you are not well enhanced to be able to use resources to get some viable food crops and be able to plant them during planting season, tendencies are that you will have a low yield, and that can go a long way to affecting population of people that are solely dependent on what you can bring to the table. Statistics also show that weak governments is also a problem in terms of solving the problem of hunger. If the government does not go to the grassroots to think about its own citizens, tendencies are that they may not have what it takes to be able to feed people at the lower cadre or the class. Hence, you see people not having what to do, especially when it has to do with food. Statistics shows that 720 million to 811 million persons are suffering from hunger. And roughly to date, there is an increase of 161 million people that have been starved. What do we do about this kind of great statistics? 2022, 2.4 billion children the age of 5 have been subjected to stuntedness as a result of lack of food. How do we go from here? The need and desirability of getting zero hunger is something that must be a concept that must be practiced by all great excellencies that are part of this meeting. We must develop a modern technology where industrialization processes, mechanization processes will be brought into play, where we can produce food that will be able to serve the nation. We must also have a situation where we have fair distribution. Some countries are having more to eat, while others don't have. For instance, the war in Ukraine today has set a lot of families to a situation where they don't have anything to eat. Ukraine has produced enough, but because of the conflict and the crisis in that country, they could not be able to distribute what's supposed to be meant to other countries like Africa. The time we need to act is now, because tomorrow may be too late. Young women, infants, and young girls, infants, young boys, infants, go to bed with empty stomach. An angry man or hungry man is an angry man, because once the person is not well fed, tendencies are there. The energy level with respect to anger will increase. How do we end the world hunger and achieve a zero hunger? Number one, we have to break the cycle of conflicts, countries rising against countries, and this is unfair. I want to sincerely appreciate the state of Bilan for their humanitarian factor. This is the first humanitarian country we intend to have in the world where the aspect of citizenry is number one and priority. It's not the procurement of guns, it's not the procurement of jets, it's not the procurement or erection of borders that will give us a zero hunger. But it's actually a government that is sensitive to the need of the citizenry. It's actually the government that thinks about tomorrow. It's the government that invests in people. That is what will give us zero hunger. Let us also address poverty. Poverty is one of the greatest cause of hunger. A lot of people have 12.5 USD as their feeding money a day. And this is suicidal, meaning that whatever that we taken into the system may not be nutritious. Because when we are talking about zero hunger, we should also talk about the quality of what is taken into the system. We need to also help the rural farmers and connect them to the markets. A lot of people have the potentials to be able to farm and produce yield, but the tendencies are that one, at the point of production, there is no ready market to be able to send these goods to where people need them. Gone are those days where silos were actually produced, where you can store your food crops and then sell them when it is time for people to need. We need to also reduce the food waste, just like other speakers have said about it. Some families have enough, but because of inequality, power determines who eats. If there is no power in some countries, you cannot feed and feed well. Excellencies, time is ripe for us to be able to institute some regulatory framework to be able to ensure that people don't go to bed with empty stomach. The United Nations targets are that one. We must ensure that there is a universal access to safe nutritional food, not just the quantity of food, but rather the quality of food. Nature has given us all it takes to be able to stay well, but because of human contention, because of crisis, because of conflicts, that is where we are today. The United Nations has also brought to a table that we have to end all forms of malnutrition. How do we do this? Is to ensure that whatever that is produced stands a test of time. We have to test the integrity and the quality of the soil at the point of planting season, so that at the end of the day, the yield that will be produced from such a farmland will be something that can stand a test of time. We need to also double productivity so that we'll be able to feed the teeming population that is distributed and densely distributed all over the world. We need to also maintain a genetic diversity in terms of the quality of seed that we send into the soil that will germinate over a period of time and give us something to be able to feed the nation. Excellencies, the time we are in is the time that we need to act. Excellencies, if you look at the population of people going to bed every day without food, we need to start working out modalities to be able to feed the nation. We need to work out modalities to be able to save our nation. We need to work out modalities to be able to save our children yet unborn. It is on record that the UN assistance to Ukraine is enormous. We have over 21 people affected by crisis. 8.2 million of them are refugees. 15.8 are actually receiving humanitarian services. Now, money spent is over 4.3 billion USD. Where do we go from here, Excellencies? It is a great privilege that we share information across borders to be able to ensure that we bring to bear a zero hunger in a country, in a nation, in the globe, where God has given to us as people who can change the narrative. Thank you so very much for the opportunity. And I have a strong conviction that together we can make the world a better place. I appreciate you all.
It was so thoughtful to you, sir, to add minute observation which you have given. Please accept our thanks for this particular explanation. Feed a child today so they can see tomorrow. Feed a child, feed the future. With this statement, I cordially invite our next incredible dignitary, Dr. Vijay Kumar Sarvya, sir. International R&D Creativity Organization USA, Presidential Advisor Director General. Over to you, respected sir. Vijay Kumar Sarvya, sir.
He may not be here, Excellency. Can you please invite the speaker?
Sure. It's my privilege to invite our next eminent dignitary, Theoneste Aikarme, UNICEF Communication. Over to you, respected Excellency.
Theoneste, brother from Rwanda. Are you there, brother? Actually, they are with us so far.
I do understand, sir. Okay. We have another eminent dignitary with us, Olunrachin Selfiu Tholo. Sir, are you there with us?
Professor Solomon Musa, can you join? Yes, can you share your ideas on this SDG 2 so that we can conclude this program?
Yeah, I have a lot. Can you hear me?
Yes, brother.
Yes,
please.
sir. Perfectly. Over to you, respected sir, please.
Okay. A wonderful presentation there from my brother here in Nigeria, our professor legend. Thank you also for the privilege of having me here to contribute on the little I've had. Actually, with the data given by him, we see quite a lot, not only here in Nigeria, but in other African countries, and also countries around the world like Myanmar. We have countries like Sudan. Here in Nigeria, the experience we go through Boko Haram insurgencies. You can find out that last week, about 42 people were killed in Benue. They were farmers in rural areas. And we have about 33 killed in Kaduna South, where I lived before. And these were peasants that were very poor. Government could not even locate them to give them the paltry sum of things they have, like farm implements and other things that they will use to garnish their farms. And a lot of hunger have been imminent in those areas. Let's take, for instance, also, I was watching a video of some of the Nigerians we had. The government gave about $150 million to repatriate them from the problem in Sudan. And these buses came in, took the people from Nigeria into a desert and dumped them there. They sit there for some days without food. These were privileged people who were in Sudan and were working and eating, but
Yes, sir, there may be some technical problem. Just 1 or 2 minutes, because we are going to wind up in 5 minutes. Ambassador Dr. Stephen, can you please share? Ambassador Dr. Prince Angau, can you please? So that we can go for.
Yeah, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I think you can hear me very well.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah, this is Ambassador Dr. Nago Augustine from Nigeria. I want to just add a little to what the Excellencies have said, just to touch about only 6 points. If the world is going to experience end of hunger, number one thing, we are going to break the cycle of conflict and hunger. We are going to increase sustainable and build resilience to climate change and address poverty and inequality through social safety nets. We will help rural farmers' connection to markets through infrastructure that consists of even road network. Then reduce food waste and food loss. We will also, alas, eliminate malnutrition in mothers and children. If we do it, I think we have a very good connection to SDG number 9 to achieve if hunger must only be eradicated, that is infrastructure and innovation and what again? So if we can achieve goal 9, I believe that even goal 2 is already completed. Thank you very, very much. See you again.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you so much. As it is at 10 o'clock, we'll go for concluding remarks. I invite Professor Dr. Vijay Carolyn ma'am for the concluding remarks. Then we'll go for vote of thanks. Then Madhavi Varsu ma'am, please stay there. We have to thank you at the end. Over to Carolyn ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, Excellencies, who joined us, and every eminent global speaker who spoke about hunger. That is a need of the hour to address. So we have noted the insights, inputs, and the message carried by all the global leaders, Excellencies, kings, queens of different countries. Definitely, we try best level, whatever the points you have referred, that will be implemented when we taken up the projects internationally and seen that these insights and inputs will be carried and help in projecting the projects and supporting the needy. Thank you very much, all the Excellencies, global leaders, kings, queens, for being with us patiently and supporting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Prince Sangavu, can you please share any views on 1 minute? Ambassador Dr. Prince Sangavu. Anything from your side?
Hello?
Hi, brother. You're perfectly audible.
I think I have shared something. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead, brother.
Okay, I think I've just shared. I've talked about SDG 2, the 6 points, key points of hunger eradication, connecting it to SDG number 9, that is industrialization, innovation, and what have you. So, and the infrastructure. So if we achieve goal 9, we must achieve goal 2. Infrastructure will give us road networking. Infrastructure will help the local farmers to come to cities and develop whatever and the market whatever they are having. And through that, they will be encouraged. And then there will be eradication of hunger when people are cultivating and selling and eating. So that is my contribution. And the innovation will come through there because more you buy from them, the more they can be able to expertise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you so much. Now we are going for a vote of thanks. Today we have to start our thanks with the Royal King, Prince Emir, President of Finland State. Thank you, Majesty. Thank you so much for your gracious presence. And we say special thanks to Her Royal Majesty, Princess Eden. Ma'am, really wonderful. Prime Minister of Finland State. For your commendable job. You both made this day. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then Professor Reginald Parakalji is always there with us. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much. And Madhavi Bose ma'am, thank you so much. In spite of you are having a problem with your mobile, but you did a commendable job. You have a class one side this program. You have been managing these two. Thank you, ma'am, because you never forget us. Whenever we requested you, you are always there. Before the era and after the era, you are managing that.
So it's not me that I don't forget both of you. It is like you both that you never forget me. Your respect and ma'am's love will never forget each other. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. My dear brother, Ambassador Professor Joseph Legend, Enfan, I don't know who named you as Legend, but you are really legend, brother. First of all, the presentation, it takes nearly 100+ marks because the way you have presented it, absolutely professional, brother. Really, you have thrown 100% subject over the zero hunger. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Society needs people like you. The globe needs people like you. You are doing commendable job. Thank you for your support. For the last 2-3 years, you are extending your support to all our campaigns. And this year too, you have joined and shed a light on the serious issue, zero hunger. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And Professor Solomon Mufa Tarfa, thank you, dear brother. Thank you for your valuable insights and inputs on this special day. Thank you so much. Dear Ambassador Dr. Prince Angwo, brother, thank you so much. And Stephen Timpington, brother, thank you so much. Ambassador Adrian Daisley, brother, there may be some network issue, but even then, you have done a commendable job. We know your strength, your energy, your subject on social issues. Really, you are doing a marvelous job, brother. Thank you. You are always there with us. Thank you, brother. Then Aruba Mumtaz, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. A cool presentation. A cool presentation with 100% a pure subject on. It's a research. It is something like a research, and you have done a hard work because every word is a precious word in your presentation, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, Aruba, ma'am, for joining and shedding light on this serious issue. Thank you so much. Then Vishwanath Balagrahi, sir. Soon we are going to listen to you, but thank you for joining and encouraging and motivating all our programs. And Dr. G. Archana, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It is the second day you have joined. We are very much happy for your presence. And Dr. Manju Sarkar, ma'am. Really, we are honored to have your presence. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Then Binu Thomas, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Being a registrar, being a, in spite of your all tight schedules, you are with us always. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Then I say thanks to Geeta Suryavanshi, ma'am. You are there with us for the last 3 years. Thank you, ma'am. But we didn't see you even. After 3 years also, we couldn't see you. But anyway, the day will come. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Then Madhu Sharma, ma'am. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting and encouraging. Patricia Gonde, ma'am. Your presentation is fabulous, ma'am. Really, the way you have presented with that PPT, detailed information, really amazing, ma'am. Thank you. Kudos to your hard work. And Pradeep Kulkarni, sir. I hope that you are the reference by our dear friend Kulkarni, sir. But anyway, thank you for, sir. Thank you for joining. And thank you for staying. If at all possible, can you share a few words, sir, Kulkarni, sir? Okay, no problem.
I must thank all wonderful presentation, great value addition and great knowledge addition. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Our beloved Kulkarni sir will join soon. He is a sensation. He is a sensation in sustainable development goals. The day will come soon. He is my close friend with our Kalurkar sir. We'll see him soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I thank Royal Anifa ma'am from Sri Lanka. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining. And if I forget my dear beloved friend, Professor Nada, it won't be right. Nadaji, say hi to all from Croatia.
Yes, of course. Greetings from Croatia. Another amazing day. Great, eminent guest speakers, all excellencies. I see that this world have a hope, a big hope. You know, my name Nada means hope. So it is a big hope. And yes, what to say here today? We know that we need to do the action. If you give me a chance, I will only recite one song because that really touch my heart always when we are on this topic, zero hunger. It is a very sad song. Miss Hassan wrote it. So when she was 10 years old, she was a little Ethiopian poor girl. She lost her entire family in 1984. So she writes, listen there, mother, the cry of my despair. Listen there, father, the cry of my despair. Hunger has come. Children and adults have fallen like autumn leaves. Leave us all. We have seen all this suffering, me and my stuff, after we have left our home. I thought, if I die, how will the world know about it? Let us do that this not happening. We need to stop this. We need to help our people. We need to give our neighbor. We need to give our students. I'm seeing every day that so many students don't have for the meal. So isn't that sad? So let us work on this, and this great Siraja Summit, Madame Caroline, this is really great because here are all together great, great, I can say, people who are working for humanity and society. And that is a big success. And we have a hope. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Tomorrow we are going to see.
Tomorrow
Yes,
is
yes. Tomorrow we are going to see our Croatian leader and Professor Nada in a full form. This is just a trailer sample. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for the amazing words.
Thank you very much, gospođa Nada, I hvala vam puno, puno.
Wow, he knows Croatia. He say, hvala,
Yes,
gospođa Nada.
moja majka je Hrvatica I ja sam rođen u Rijeci. Yes, my mother is Croatian, so that.
Oh, I didn't, nisam znala to.
So great, so great, so great.
Great.
Yes.
His mother is from Croatia, you see, and he learned Croatia language. Bravo.
Yes, I know English, Arabic, Croatian, French, Netherlands, many languages.
Great, great, great. Yes.
Welcome, welcome all.
Last but not the least, our Managing Director of Royal Council, Professor Dr. Vishwa Caroline ma'am. She is always there in our journey. I say always, she's the backbone to all our campaigns, all our programs. Today we are here because the Royal Council stands tall on international platform. That is because of Professor Dr. Vishwa Caroline ma'am and unflinching spirit in our journey. And still it continues till the goal we reach. There are 17 sustainable development goals, 18 days program. After all these, we have to help at least one human being. Of course, we will think of millions and billions, thousands, hundreds, we say numbers. At least if one individual get benefited through our campaigns and through our programs, through our humanitarian services, then the goal is reached. So once again, I thank each and everyone. Tomorrow there is a fabulous program and fabulous guests are coming, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much for making this day.